It's Sunday afternoon and we're on the road to Hadstock Church. This is supposed to have been the minster that King Cnut actually built after the Battle of Assandun in 1016. And Sir Botolphs actually was a 7th century monk. So we'll be there in a moment. So see you soon. Well, here we are. It's Hadstock Church. As I said, it was built as a minster, apparently, by King Cnut, and it was finished in about 1020. So you have the usual Saxon nave in the middle. Now, this church has changed a great deal in the early Saxon period. I can show you here that we have a timber church, a very simple nave, but we do have the two transepts, north and south transepts, and you can just see around there a nice little semicircular apse. Then later on, there's a wooden tower put in the middle. This is in the late Saxon period. This is all before King Cnut built, apparently, this as a minster. Now let's get a little bit closer and see then. Yeah, it's Sundays, nothing better than being at church. There's nobody else around here at all, which is great for filming, but rather sad. But hopefully after a few people watch these videos, they'll be encouraged to see. Well, and yeah, it is. This is look. This is a picture of a lady at the well, and it's just at this point. Can you see the chancel at the back there and the nave? I think it's just here. And if you look up, I think it says that it was fenced in the Victorian period, and there's a really old bolt there. It could be part of the actual surround. Apparently it had steps that went down, but that's a good well. And if you just look, I'm just going to point that up again and go to there. There she is at the well, and there is that porch. You can just see the porch there. So that's great. Pleased about that. So in the nave, what have we got? We've got two double splayed Saxon windows. Apparently they still retain the original oak frames around them, which is absolutely fantastic. We've got a later buttress here holding this really high nave wall, and that's part of the original church. And then round here we have a porch, and you'll see the north door is actually set into that porch, but that had moved because this actually here, this medieval window, this is the actual north transept. And so above here would have rose the massive, great big tower that Cnut built. And apparently, why did it all fall down in the 13th century? Well, I think it's to do with Edward the Confessor, because he never got over the fact that his mother, Emma, married Cnut. She married Aethelred the second, first time round, but he really hated the thought that she married a Viking, and he let the place fall to ruin. Apparently he really took all the money from it, and poor old villagers had to make do, and it all just crashed down. So here is this beautiful Saxon door. Now originally it was here, and if you just look at the plan, the original plan, you can see here, this one down here, you've got the original apse here, and you've got this transept. That's where the door would have been, but now you see that they put in later a porch, and that's where the door sits that we are just about to go and have a look at. And well, dendrochronology has said that the timber on this door, we can date it from 1032, 1045, somewhere around there. It does make it the oldest working door in the country. But I say this has just been moved a few meters to the right, but the whole thing's been rebuilt, and you've got this beautiful honeysuckle moulding. Look at that. That is absolutely cracking. And this door, now legend has it that a marauding Viking, mostly before the Norman Conquest obviously, stole some stuff from this church, and he was punished. He was flayed and his skin was pinned to the door. And up to a few years ago, apparently you could still see bits of this skin. Again though, it was tested, and I'm sorry to report that it was found to be cowhide, and it was more likely actually used, as we've got bits of paper in here stuck in here now, it was a draft excluder, so that's completely spoilt the whole thing, hasn't it? I'm sorry. I don't suppose this is fully automatic, so we must really need to knock. Let's just hope it's open and somebody will kindly let me in. Here we are. So inside the nave, this is gorgeous. So you see we've got two splayed Saxon windows up on this north wall. We've got two more on the south wall. Look at the light that comes through there. And then we've got another one that's been blocked up above the actual door. And I've just got to go on about this door a little bit more. Look at it. It's absolutely, we're talking 1,000 years old. And look at that timber and all those metal straps and fixings. It's just, and just touch it and just touch 1,000 years. That's really lovely. So here we have it. Let's just take a look. Now, so as I say, this is a minster. So this is a little bit grander than a church, and we're walking into what they call the crossing. Victorian people actually dug this up here in the 1880s and found substantial foundations to suggest that this really did have a massive tower, which collapsed, as I said, in about the 13th century. But that's where that door would have been, coming into the north transept. Here's the crossing. The apse, this is more of a very modern, later, must be, actually early Victorian, I think, is when they actually put the new chancel, did extensive restoration. And then we swoop round here to the south transept. Now, although this all collapsed, they rebuilt, obviously, in medieval times, up to the actual ceiling there. Obviously, there wasn't a tower anymore, but they used the original Saxon stonework that would have been in all the four corners. And there we have lovely Barnock stone. That's absolutely gorgeous. We've got one there. We've got this lovely rood-screen, which I think came out from the chancel there at some point. So we have original Saxon footings there. We have got this lovely 15th century lectern here. Look at that. And that's the patination on that wood is just delicious. Oh, that's really good. And some lovely old pews. I just want to take you up the nave because it's something that I have just discovered. And there's the font. It's in the most unlikely place, actually. 14th, 15th century font, but apparently the base is Saxon. And look at that. Oh. Now, behind this curtain is the old bell tower. So when they didn't replace the old tower, they obviously, medieval period, they built this bell tower. And let's just have a look. He's going to have lots of modern stuff, isn't he? There's watering cans and, so we've got, we had a little nativity. They're all waiting for Christmas. But look at this ladder. That's an absolute cracker. That's older than that aluminium one that I filmed. I think it was in Reed, or maybe it was in Chickney, I'm not sure. But there you go. There's certainly no bell ringing going on in here anymore. So that's rather sad, but look at that. It's a beautiful view right the way down through. This nave is stunning. It's just a huge Saxon aisleless nave. Wonderful. It sounds like a few people do know about the Battle of Assandun because, look, there's absolutely, it's not the Bear Tapestry, but it shows, there's King Cnut 1016 and King Edmund, it's Edmund Ironside, who was rightly defeated. He wasn't actually killed, but he did die of his injuries, apparently. And it's absolutely, look, it's wonderful. And there's the English, and there's the as I say, this minster was given to the Saxons and the Vikings. It was a part of even the conquered. It wasn't sort of, Danes take over now, but they actually live in harmony. And there you go, 1020. And that's wonderful. If it's done by school children, then good on them. Very good. I really can't leave this church alone. It's just, there's loads of exploring. I've just been inspecting the back of the organ, as you would, and just coming in here to the south transept, and I can't get over these massive Saxon arches. But obviously, then they go up to a medieval one there, but it's just absolutely gorgeous, and this rood-screen. So I'm just having a look at this south door. Apparently, that one could be Saxon as well. I want to go outside and tell you a little story about it. We've got the most wonderful views here. I mean, you've got to imagine that these trees have grown and fallen down and died over the centuries, but it actually affords the most incredible view right over the back there. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's actually quite chocolate box really. Look at that. Beautiful. Right, let's have a little look around this side. This is obviously the later tower, and go around to the south side and have a look at that door. But just as I'm passing here, I just wanted to point out there's a really nice crisp mason mark there on that piece of dressed stone. Look at that, that's beautiful. That's somebody's signature. We've got this lovely checkered work, which yeah, I think is actually Victorian, but it's very decorative. It's beautiful. It's a lovely old churchyard. There's some earlier gravestones here. Ones around the front are must be Victorian, but I think there's some more 18th century ones that we've seen. So here we have the we have the nave from the south side, and again we see, and the lighting's a little bit better, you can mostly see that double splayed window. It's got apparently original timber around it, so it's 1,000 years. It's done really well. And we have this door here, which I was just showing you on the inside. Now apparently, and there's actually a plaque on the side, and it says George Brand. Apparently he lost his son, and his son was only 17 years, and he used to walk, he was the rector of this church in 1808, and he walked past his door every day, and he couldn't bear to see it after the death of his son, so he had the door blocked up until I think 1970s or so. It's a sad story, but obviously it's all back now in all its glory, and it's beautiful. So another lovely visit, and really sort of the end of the Saxon series. I shall move on to well, I was going to take a break and do a few castles over the next month or so, and starting with Berkhamsted, which is going to be really exciting. But just wanted to point out one thing I hadn't said in this video, and you must have already noticed I hadn't. Coins. There you go. This is the north transept, and there's massive, and they are huge, big Barnet stone, long and short, or let's just say huge and massive stones that would have been supporting it. That is absolutely gorgeous. Let's just take one last look, and let's say goodbye to Hadstock.